Good day, sir, and good day, everyone. We are the Group 4, and the assigned topic to us is hospital operations. And so here are the members and the assigned tasks. So I am Niles Cahuda, and the assigned task to me is the start procedure together with Ricky Rodillas, Roninolin Ragudo, and Frederick Marlang. While in user-defined functions, Chafet Manduba is the assigned member, and in backup procedure, it is Kala Bunyawan. We first created tables named doctors and patients to manage the important persons or data in the hospital operations. In the doctor table, there are 4 columns, which are the doc underscore ID with int data type, which is the primary key, and the doc underscore name with varchar 100 data type, doc underscore age with int data type, and doc underscore specialization with varchar 50 data type. So there is doc underscore specialization, so that it will be easier to know whose doctor is needed to a specific patient. So next, in the table name patients, there are 4 columns as well, which are patient underscore name with varchar 100 data type, patient underscore age with int data type, patient underscore illness with varchar 100 data type, and doc underscore name with varchar 100 data type. So the doc underscore name is in this table as well to know which doctor is needed to a patient, and the patient underscore illness is the identifier to for the user to know whose doctor is needed based on his or her illness. So after creating the tables, we created start procedure for the table named doctor, and it is named get doc underscore specialization that has an input parameter doc specialization, and will select all from doctor table where doc underscore specialization is same with the input parameter doc specialization. So this is important too, so that it will be organized. The user will know which doctor is needed to a patient. And next start procedure for the doctor is the get doc underscore name with input parameter doc name, and will select all from the doctor table where doc underscore name is equals to the input parameter doc name. This will return all the data from doctor table with the name given in the parameter doc name. So this will be helpful as well to know which doctor is needed best by the patient. So this start procedure is helpful for the organization in the hospital operations. It will organize the which doctor is assigned to a patient and what are the illness of the patient, so that the user will know whose doctor is needed by that patient's illness, because the doctor has his or her specializations.
Okay, next we will now create a stored procedure about getting the patients with the same illness. So we will now create a procedure named get patients with illness of with required input parameter named p illness. This will then select all from the patient's table where patient illness is equal to the parameter p illness. Okay, this sample stored procedure returns the patients with the given illness in the parameter. So this is necessary because this gives ease of access to those patients with the same illness, or it will filter all the patients with the illness only given in the parameter, because since the hospital will eventually get a huge amount of patients. Next, we will also create a procedure named get patients with the doctor of. Create a procedure named get patients with doctor of. This will require an input parameter named doctor assigned, and this will select all from patient's table where doc name is equal to doctor assigned, where doctor assigned is our input parameter. This sample stored procedure returns the patients that has the doctor assigned in the given in the parameter. This will give an ease on accessing the patients with the same doctor, and also to filter the patients with the given doctor name in the parameter.
So for the sample procedure for appointments, create a table named appointments that includes the following attributes: appointment ID with int data type, person ID with int data type, doctor ID with int data type, and appointment date time with date time data type. To create the stored procedure, create a stored procedure named PR get appointment ID, input a parameter that uses an integer called int ID, select all from the table appointments, having appointment ID that is equal to input parameter called int ID. This procedure will return all rows from table appointments having appointment ID that's equal to int ID. The next create a stored procedure named PR make appointment, input parameter for integer called int op, integer called int person, integer called int doctor, date time called date time app, and integer called int ID. This parameter should perform operations. The said parameter should perform operations that listed below based on the value of integer int op. So first, if the int op is equal to 1, select all rows from the table appointments where appointment ID is equal to int ID. If the int op is equal to 2, insert the parameters to table appointments. If the int op is equal to 2, update table appointments row to parameter values where appointment ID is equal to int ID. Then lastly, if the int op is equal to 4, delete all rows from table appointments where appointment ID is equal to int ID, so that this procedure will return all the stated order, the int op 1 to 4. Because in hospital operations, individuals who are managing the data tend to alter tables and records for a reason. So to do that, a particular code for selecting, inserting, updating, and deleting data are provided and should be executed. And since a stored procedure plays an important role in accessing and securing data. In terms of security, stored procedure for appointments are needed because appointments contains personal details for specific data, and for accessing stored procedure for appointments also help to access particular data when the data is needed. And of course, there's a lot work to do in a hospital operations. With the help of stored procedure, the data are quick and efficient to call, execute, and response, particularly for the procure or extract data. And that's all for the stored procedure or sample procedure for table appointments in hospital operations.
So for sample procedure for payment First, create a table name payment. It has the following attributes: patient ID with integer data type primary key, patient name varchar data type, lab test fee with integer data type, room charge with integer data type, room number of days, doctor's fee with integer data type. Next is create a procedure named getLab test type with input parameter at lab type. It will select patient ID, patient name, lab type, lab test fee from table payment, where lab type input parameter is equal to lab type. This will return how much a patient needs to pay for a certain laboratory test. This is necessary because since hospitals have many laboratory tests, this procedure will allow the patient to know how much to pay for a specific laboratory test. Next is this procedure will compute for the total bill of the patient. So create a procedure named total bill, select all, and it will compute the sum of lab test fee, doctor's fee, and the product of room charge multiplied by room number of days as total bill. This procedure will compute all of the patient's bill. This is important because this will avoid manual computing, which is prone to errors.
Good day, I am Mark Japheth P. Manuba reporting user-defined functions for hospital operations in BSIT 2.1. So, ang gagawin po natin sa user-defined function is gagawa po tayo ng function at mag-execute tayo na hiwalay dun sa number 4, which is yung personal informations ng mga doktor. So, ang una natin gagawin, gagawa tayo ng personal information ng doktor na may parameter na @doc_id and int. Tapos i-return natin yung table. And then next is select tayo sa doctors na kung saan yung @doc_id is equals to doc_id. Tapos i-select din ulit natin yung doctor's personal information, which is ang parameter is doctor personal information, tapos open and close parentheses, tapos apostrophe number 7. Then yung next naman is yung para mahanap yung mga doctors tsaka patients na kung saan may doctor na naka-assign sa isang patient. So ang gagawin natin is gagawa tayo ng function na kung saan ang naka-name sa kanya is doc assigned. Tapos may parameter siya ng @doc_name. So ang pag visualize natin yung table na yan, makikita natin yung doctor na naka-assign doon sa patient. Depende dun sa specialty ng doctor or saan siya naka-assign. Tapos next, i-return natin yung table. So pipili ulit tayo sa patients na kung saan may specific na name para dun sa doctor at para dun sa patient. Tapos pipili tayo, halimbawa na lang is Patrick. So sa name na Patrick, may patient na naka-assign, may doctor na naka-assign sa kanya. Kagaya nitong example is insert into doctor and open and close parenthesis doc name, tapos may values na Patrick. So lalabas din doon yun kung sino si patient Patrick, tapos lalabas yung doctor para kay Patrick. Yun lamang po. Thank you.
For the backup, first we will use a full backup. We will use it to the files of the doctor and the patients. This is the code for full backup. To disk is where the file will be saved, and media name will be the file name. Next, we will use a differential backup. The differential backup will save the changes happen after the last full backup. We will do full backup once a week, so the differential backup won't be too large and it will be more efficient. Next is the transaction log backup. We will use the transaction log backup when a failure happens. The transaction log backup will allow us to recover the database in a certain point in time or before the failure happens. This is the code for the transaction log backup.